So not too long ago, Maroon 5 announced officially their sixth album entitled Red Pill Blues, and it's coming out November 3rd. This is Bobby Gaines again, here to kind of give my thoughts on Maroon 5's upcoming album. I had mentioned it before when it was just more of a concept, but now it is officially out there. And that was surprising to me, just how fast they put out the news, and the album is coming out in just a few short weeks, and I'm excited. I mean, I'm a little excited. I'm not quite as excited as I've been for past Maroon 5 releases, and the reason for that is the couple of years since their albums, they've released just kind of a mix of tracks that I thought were okay to, like, pretty good. But, you know, that's not the Maroon 5 I used to know, quite frankly. And I'm not one of these people that says, you know, they need to make songs about Jane every single album. You know, I've appreciated their changing sounds. I loved Overexposed. I liked most of V. So, I mean, I'm not, you know, saying they only need to sound a certain way. It was just after V, they came out with This Summer. This Summer's Gonna Hurt Like a You-Know-What. And I'd say that song was decent. It's a song that if I hear it, I listen to it, but it's not one that I seek out, you know. And a lot of Maroon 5 songs I love, you know, like Misery, Wake Up Call. First time I heard those songs, I listened to them on repeat, nonstop. A lot of songs from Hands All Over, a lot of songs from Overexposed I feel that way about. V, I think, has the most kind of like filler tracks in it, like Leaving California and Unkiss Me are just kind of okay. And even that album, I'd like pretty much all the tracks to some degree, but I mean, off of that album, I'd say Feelings and Sugar and Maps are probably the only ones that I go back to a lot. I mean, I go back to some of them, but these newer songs, especially like Don't Want to Know, like I don't listen to that at all. It's on the radio once in a while if I want to hear it, but Don't Want to Know is just so repetitive, and it's just this awkward like hip-hop pop mix, so I don't know what we're going to be getting off the new album is more to my point. And they've released What Lovers Do, which was a really good song, except I feel like it's really slow to start, and I feel like if they want to go more of this pop dance direction, they need songs that are really going to hit hard. I mean, I wouldn't mind if Maroon 5 went that direction like they did with Moves Like Jagger, if they went in more of a electronic dance music type of thing. But then they really need to go for it, you know? They can't have these like slow intros with just these weird lyrics and just these weird sounds. Like Help Me Out is another one, the other song that they released for this album, that they released a preview for. Actually, they released the whole song. And it's good, but again, I don't really know where it fits in today's pop landscape, if that is what they're going for. Again, there's a lot of mixed messages about this album and about Maroon 5 in general. On one hand, they say they don't want to be a pop band, and on the other hand, they release a lot of pop songs. And then they, you know, incorporate other artists like Kendrick Lamar and Future and all these, like, rap artists that just don't sound right on the tracks. And they've been writing songs like Cold and Don't Want to Know that they're like not really hip-hop enough to bring in the hip-hop crowd, and they're not poppy enough to make the pop crowd like them. You know, they're too in between, and they're not really succeeding at either thing, in my opinion anyway. And I'm not a big hip-hop fan, so full disclosure there. Even if it was a good hip-hop song, I probably still wouldn't like it, but it's just not even good like hip-hop. There is good hip-hop, but that is not necessarily it. So I'm a little worried about a couple songs on this album. A song called Whiskey featuring A$AP Rocky, just the whole premise. And again, I don't know because I haven't heard the album, but it's always kind of a fun little game I play before an album comes out. I look at the track list and try to like guess what the songs sound like, and I'm usually right maybe a little more than half the time. So that kind of worries me. Just, you know, it's called Whiskey. It's featuring A$AP Rocky, who I personally don't like. I don't know to what degree these artists are involved in the song. Sometimes they just sing a verse. Sometimes they're in half the song. So I don't know. But just the title Whiskey, it's just going to be a song about getting drunk and like doing stuff with women. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a deep song about whiskey. And then there's another one featuring Lunch Money Lewis. And again, not too familiar, but I can kind of guess. The song with Julia Michaels and Za being in their songs actually worked pretty well for the most part. Both of those artists, vocalists, like, you know, they went well with Adam's voice and they added something to the song to kind of make it a little more fun. So I liked that. If the collaborations are more like that, I don't mind. I don't know why there are so many. I think there's like 4 collaborations on this album. Other than that, tracks that have me intrigued are Best For You, the opening track. Maroon 5's opening tracks have generally been very good. That first riff or two usually gives you an idea that you're in for a good time. So I'd love to kind of see what that's about. For some reason, I think that's going to be more of a rockish song. I'm hoping, if nothing else, we get 1 or 2 kind of rock songs. I mean, again, not to pound the old Maroon 5 drum, but just kind of, I would like to hear a couple songs that remind me of that Hands All Over era Maroon 5, you know, kind of the funk guitars and the bringing in of like the high vocals and all that, and maybe some better lyrics. I'm not holding very high hope for that happening just based on what we've heard. Maybe some lyrics that aren't just repeating a few words over and over again with a few woos and oohs. I mean, I like it, but after a while it does get a little repetitive, quite honestly. So I'm hoping Best for You is like this kind of like rock opening, something to really get your attention. And then we know the second track already. It's What Lovers Do. Wait, I'm guessing, is like some kind of ballad or something. Bet My Heart is one I'm kind of interested in. It's thankfully not a collaboration. Generally, the collaborations aren't my favorite. But Bet My Heart, I'm kind of hoping they release like the images for all these songs. And it's like, I think the image is like playing cards or something. So it's kind of, hopefully it's going to be kind of a fun song, like Lucky Strike. It's about like gambling on like a lover or something. I don't know. I think what one of the more intriguing tracks in the album is track number 10, entitled Closure. Obviously a good title, but also it's 11 and a half minutes long. I don't know if that's right. That's what it says on iTunes. So, I mean, I'm hoping, even if it's not 11 and a half minutes long, it would be nice to see Maroon 5 have like a longer, deeper song. You know, most of their songs are over in 3 minutes and they're kind of predictable, so it'd be nice to see kind of the whole band on display in some kind of longer type of set. But, I mean, I don't know. I hope it's also not just some experimental, like, Beatles type of thing where it's just like a bunch of noises for 11 minutes, so I have no idea. So, I mean, I guess I have no idea. It could also sum up how I feel about this album. Yeah, I mentioned before that I was skeptical, and I will admit that a couple of the songs that Maroon 5 has released more recently have made me a little less skeptical about their sixth album. So, I like the cover. It's kind of interesting how there are 7 members of Maroon 5, but I like the cover. It's something I like. I like when bands do kind of the cover with just the pictures of the band members. I mean, a lot of bands have done it in history, but it's a nice, simple cover. And it also, like the Red Pill Blues logo and everything. So, again, I don't know. November 3rd, I'll be checking it out on day 1, as I always do with the Maroon 5 album. I'm listening to all their old albums in anticipation. And we'll see what happens. What are your thoughts on Red Pill Blues? Let me know in the comments below.